Is Paladin still the righteous, oathbound, smiting knight that you remember?
Find out if it holds up in the 2024 Player's Handbook.
Hey YouTube, I'm Dr. DM.
And I'm the Mind Flayer Slayer.
And today we're bringing you the 2024 Paladin. We're going to let you know how it stacks up between the 2014 version of the Paladin, and also give you our full review, breakdown of all the level changes, and our rating at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Now, before we get started, we're going to issue you a challenge. At any time during this video, we want you to go down to the comments and let us know which of us do you think is going to play Paladin using these new 2024 rules. If you are correct, we will heart your comment when we check back in a few weeks. So let us know. Now let's get started.
Starting with level 1, we have Lay on Hands now as a bonus action. It no longer affects diseases, but it can be used on constructs and undead.
So this is a huge win for Paladin because a bonus action and action, that's a big difference in action economy.
Absolutely.
Before, if you need to heal somebody, even yourself during combat, your whole action would be gone. No attacks, no smiting, nothing like that. Now as a bonus action, you can lay on hands and get back right into the action, so
absolutely.
Big
I'm
W
a big
here.
fan of this. And it's a little bit of a bummer it no longer affects diseases, but being able to use on constructs and undead, if you have like an NPC in your party that's undead or something, this is a big win.
Yeah, it's pretty cool versatility there. Now, continuing at level 1, you now get Spellcasting here.
Thank you.
Yeah, Spellcasting is now open for Ranger and Paladin, both at level 1. And the number of prepared spells is a fixed number based on your Paladin spellcasting list. So I like that, even though multi-classing now is not quite as powerful as it used to be, getting your smites and spells right away at level 1. Before it used to be very odd, right? At level 2 or level 3, right now
I
it's
like
all
that
kind of
everything
normalized.
is, unified, normalized. Big fan of these changes here. And now we're moving on to Weapon Mastery. This is also at level 1. You get to choose 2 weapons you are proficient with. You gain use of their mastery properties, and you may change your chosen weapons each long rest. Now, we're going to be doing a whole video on the nuances of weapon mastery coming up here once we get through all of the classes and subclasses.
Every day.
Yes, every day until we get from the front to the back of the Player's Handbook. But weapon mastery, huge boon. It makes our martial classes so much punchier, so much more powerful, scaling almost more like a spellcaster. I just am a huge fan of this feature.
And the versatility they offer is incredible, right? For example, if you want to capitalize on Paladin, you could do like a dual-wielding Paladin. Your proficiency with light weapons give you Nick, which means you can actually do an extra attack within your attack action, not even bonus action. And that's just one of the many options that are available with Weapon Master System that martials get. It's a huge win as well.
It's a big win.
On top of that, you get fighting styles. Fighting styles are now feats. They've seen some minor tweaks, right? But there's still everything you remember from before, and you can couple it with your favorite weapon mastery. That's be interesting.
Yes.
Also, fighting style, you can now choose in lieu of any of the previous ones, Blessed Warrior, which comes back from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which lets you take on cleric spells and abilities for Paladin. So you want to be more of a caster-focused Paladin, that could be it for you.
It's an option. Moving on to Paladin Smite.
No, just
Level
stop
2.
here. Just stop here. Just stop here. Okay, go ahead. Tell him what happened.
No, I think you should.
Okay, I am a big fan of Paladin. I was a big fan of Paladin. This is my Paladin armor. But if you guessed that I would play Paladin, maybe rethink it. We'll see. Because although you always have Divine Smite prepared as a spell, Divine Smite is now a spell, not a class ability. It can be used with unarmed strikes, and in some situations even range attacks. And now it requires a bonus action, which you can take immediately after hitting a creature with an attack.
Oh.
Okay, so what's happening here? Paladins get 1 free Divine Smite they can use per long rest, right? Before, you could just kind of smite, right? Unleash your righteous wrath on the enemy. Now, you have to cast, essentially, a spell, which you can do while you attack. But if you have extra attack, you can only do it once per turn, because you have to incorporate your bonus action as part of the smite. So, I hit, I use my bonus action, I add my smite damage, which is similar, although it scales a little better. It has a unlimited top end now, let's say. Not that you get there with Paladin, because you're still capped at 5th level. But this ties you completely. Your action economy is now just, you have no bonus action to do anything else if you ever want to smite, which is like the Paladin fantasy.
Yeah, I really think that this takes away from exactly what you were talking about, the Paladin fantasy. I know that there have been a lot of people who have been upset with this change. We are both pretty disappointed in this change. There are a lot of other boons, and so I think through playtesting we will see if the boons outweigh this major L for the smite ability, but so far, this one hurts. This one hurts.
And it wasn't like Paladin before, right? You think it was a big Nova damage class, so you could just unload, you have multiple attacks, you could unload Smite, and that was honestly pretty interesting because you'd have to use all your resources. If you're doing a long dungeon crawl, maybe that's not something you want to do, right? So your DPR could be high, but in actuality, maybe it actually wasn't as high as, for example, a Great Weapon Master fighter, right? So it's not like they were really, really out of balance. Now where you have to use your bonus action, you can't do anything else if you want to smite, that really takes it down quite a few pegs for me.
I feel like the issue is we've seen so many classes being brought up to the level of the former Paladin in this 2024 Player's Handbook, but here we are seeing now that the Paladin has gone below. I wanted to see everything brought to an equal level, but unfortunately it does look like some things have been brought up and some things have been brought down a little bit.
And of course you can still play a 2014 Paladin if you want to, the legacy version, so that's never going to be taken away, but 2024 comes with its pros and cons, so Smite is not one of the pros. So let's move on to level 3.
Channel Divinity can be used twice before short or long rest. The Paladin's Divine Sense feature is now part of Channel Divinity. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, as you level up, you get an extra use of Channel Divinity. That was not a thing before. I think you only ever got one. In Baldur's Gate 3, if you've played that, you had multiple as well, so I wonder if it took some cues.
We've definitely seen them taking some cues from Baldur's Gate 3.
Good job, Larian. Good job, Larian.
100%.
Yeah, so this is a great feature. You'll see this incorporated within the subclasses where they'll get a lot more use out of Channel Divinity.
Yeah. At level 3, we are getting our Paladin subclass. This is uniform across the 2024 Player's Handbook. All classes get their subclasses at level 3. Now, I know that some people are upset about this, but I see it as a boon because we pretty much always start our campaigns at least level 3, and that's something that's actually written into the 2024 Player's Handbook. Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins are like, if you are not a beginning player, you can start at level 3. You can always play however you want, but the first 2 levels are really meant as tutorials for people who are new to the game. So if you think about it that way, it's not really much of a loss.
In addition, if you do decide to take one of the 2014 version of the subclasses, you can still get it level 3 if you use the new rules, but you get all the abilities from 1 and 2 and 3 all stacked together once you get to level 3. So none of that stuff's ever lost. You just get it right at 3. If your campaign starts at 3, then you're good to go. So let's talk about the new subclasses. There are 4 total. There's Oath of Devotion, not new, this comes back, right? But these are the new revamped ones, and sometimes brand new. This subclass features last longer and have a reduced action cost, and Divine Smite now grants cover for you and your allies. And we'll talk about these more in depth in separate videos. So.
Interesting. We also have Oath of Glory. It is a peerless athlete that has longer duration, and your aura ability has a larger radius.
When we have Oath of Ancients, the aura of warding within this class now affects specific damage types rather than just spell damage, and Undying Sentinel lets you regain hit points, and Elder Champion can also be used and restored using a 5th level spell slot.
That's great. And we have Oath of Vengeance, a fan favorite. Vow of Enmity no longer requires a bonus action. It has a larger range and can be transferred on killing a creature.
For a free action, by the way.
That's pretty fantastic. Avenging Angel can now be restored using a 5th level spell slot.
Okay, and more on those in a future video. So let's continue now with the 5th level ability, which is Faithful Steed. So you always have, as Paladin, Find Steed prepared.
Love this.
You can cast it once per long rest without using a spell slot. So it opens up a spell slot, which you can't use as much for Divine Smite, but whatever. But this gives you like that knight, like Paladin is like the knight premier, right?
Yeah.
They're on the horseback, you can use a lance, right? Whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And you can use it for getting across the countryside faster. If you take the corresponding feat, then you can get advantage when you attack smaller creatures, right? Mounted combatant, I think it is, so it's pretty cool.
At level 9, you're getting Abjure Foes. You can use your Channel Divinity to potentially cause a number of creatures equal to your Charisma modifier to become frightened of you. This is very powerful. While frightened this way, they can only use limited actions.
Which you can choose, one action or one bonus action, one reaction per turn, right? This is quite strong for an ability that's baked into the main class.
100%.
And it almost mimics Cleric a little bit in a way with the Repel Undead.
Yeah.
So really cool for Paladin to have that, and goes into kind of like that Holy Aura, Holy Avenger sort of aesthetic. At level 10, you get Aura of Courage. If an ally with a frightened condition enters your aura, that condition no longer has any effect. You can enters your aura means you can just walk towards them.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. That is very helpful because, as we know, Frighten, Charm, these things can really weigh down a combat. They can really be affecting. And so to have the ability to help your players out with that aura, just to bolster them, I'm a big fan of this.
And, well, as we'll get to higher levels, your aura ends up going pretty wide range. So this can help a lot of people, maybe part of an army.
Radiant Strikes. Previously improved Divine Smite. Now at 11th level, this works on unarmed strikes. So as we said earlier, Our Smites have taken a bit of an L, but you can now use them on unarmed strikes, which is cool. Depending on how you want to build your Paladin, or if you're in that bar fight, you can smite with a punch.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Divine Smite! Yeah, it's awesome. And you still get the extra D8 damage radius, so it's still relatively similar as before. So level 14, Restoring Touch. You can spend 5 hit points from your Lay on Hands pool to remove the conditions that are selected.
And you can remove multiple conditions by spending more points.
Right. So it's just an extra Lay on Hands plus ability.
Yeah. At 19th, you're getting your Epic Boon. This is similar across all classes in the 2024 Player's Handbook. You get to choose an Epic Boon feat or another feat of your choice. Just gives you that little extra oomph at the end to make you feel as legendary and epic as possible in those high levels of play.
If and when you get to level 19 in your campaign.
It takes a long time.
Level 19 or level 20. Okay, so that's been kind of the overview of the Paladin for 2024.
Yeah.
Some of our thoughts. We're going to give you our tier ranking now, which is, would you like me to begin on this one?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, I think Divine Smite was the core key feature of Paladin. It's been taken down all the way to the dumpster. Not really, but still, if you're looking for Paladin to be that Divine Smite Nova attacker that was before, it's no longer there unless you play a 2014 version, which you play in 2024. You have some cool options for subclass, but for me, Paladin goes from probably like an S class to maybe B plus in this case.
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to give it a B plus. Now, you have to consider that with this weapon mastery, you're getting other boons. So I think that you're not going to feel as, totally destroyed in terms of the overall ranking, the overall power, but it definitely is a loss, and I'm going to have to go with a B plus for this.
And the flavor and aesthetic of Paladin still there. You get the ride, the horse, the knight in shining armor. That's all there. But the particular thing which a lot of people look forward to playing Paladin with is Epic's Divine Smiting. That's gone. So or limited.
Well, we're going to be bringing you next all of the subclasses for this class, for the Paladin. So stay tuned. Again, daily content coming from
Every day!
Front to back of the Player's Handbook. We're going to be doing this as long as is possible. Please continue to smite that like button.
Divine Smite that like button.
Divine Smite that like button.
Listen, just do it one time because that's all Paladin can do.
That's all you get. So leave a comment down below. We love engaging with you guys, and we will see you next time.
All right, Paladins. Until next time.